Good evening, everyone. In this world of immense innovations, where technology keeps pushing us towards the horizons of changes, we, the interns of IEEE Kerala Section, brings you the ultimate platform to channel your thoughts. Color your space, talk without limits. I'm Veena from the interns team, and I will be the MC for the session. For this session, I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Reshna S., Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication, TKM College of Engineering, Kollam, to deliver a talk on Automatic Sign Language Recognition System. Please, if any of you have any doubts, feel free to put it up in the live YouTube chat. We shall answer it all at the end of the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Can I share my presentation? Enough? Veena, can you see this?
Yes, ma'am, it's audible. Visible.
Good evening, all. Myself, Reshna S., I'm the Vice Chairperson of IEEE Signal Processing Society, IEEE Kerala Section, a Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, TKM College of Engineering, Kollam. Today, I am here to deliver a talk on Automatic Indian Sign Language Recognition System. Sign language, it is the language used by the deaf and mute persons of all over the world. It is used to communicate among themselves and with normal people. Sign language usually uses meaningful gestures, that is the manual, facial, and other body movements as the mean for communication. And the main aim of sign language recognition system is to correctly reproduce verbal or text in accordance with a given sign. And this will provide the opportunity for a mute person to communicate with the non-signing people without the need of an interpreter. And it is a multidisciplinary research area involving gesture recognition, pattern recognition, computer vision, natural language processing, and psychology. And this is a wide area. And here today, I am giving some impact into this sign language recognition system. I'm not going into deep of all this. I am giving the basic idea of all. What motivated me to do this project? Just see a video.
Hey, my son, brother. No. Okay? Huh? എന്തോന്നാടാ കഥകളി കാണിക്കാതെ കാര്യം പറയടാ കൊരങ്ങ എന്തോന്നാണ് ഇത്
5 ഫോറിൻ ലാംഗ്വേജ് പുളുത്തു പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല സാറേ സ്വന്തം മകനോട് സംസാരിക്കാനുള്ള ഭാഷ അറിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ
എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ള എല്ലാ ഇതിലുണ്ട് ഓക്കെ ഇതെന്താ
ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ്
ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ് എടാ അത് ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പോരെ മക്കൾ പോയി കിടന്നു പോ പോ
So in this video, our beloved actor Mohanlal is talking with his child who is deaf and he cannot talk. And Mohanlal is not at all known about this sign language. But his wife can understood the sign language and give the answers. So even though he is a very good person, having many languages, he cannot know the sign language. We are all like that. We didn't study the sign language, even though we are very proud and we know many things. We can study many things, but we didn't go into their life and try to understand their language. Almost all normal people are like this, unless otherwise there's a new person in our home. So this is the main motivation behind that. The automatic sign language will automatically convert this sign to the text or the speech. And
Hey, my son.
അയാൾ സംസാരിക്കില്ല കേൾവിയും ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ റൈറ്റ് മൈ നെയിം ഈസ് ആദിത്യ മൈ പെറ്റ് നെയിം ഈസ് സണി ഗുഡ്
Hi, son.
here, this the person, the name Aditya or Sunny needs a interpreter or a translator to talk with other normal people. So our automatic sign language recognition system will serve as a translator.
അയാൾ
So a translator is usually needed when an ordinary person wants to communicate with a deaf one. So by developing a sign language recognition system, a hearing impaired people can easily interact with a normal person at different levels in the society. It is an important research area, not only from the engineering point of view, but also from the impact on the society. And we can develop, or we can give hands to the deaf and mute persons to talk with the normal people. So what is sign language? Sign languages are well-structured languages. These are natural languages that use different means of expression for communication in everyday life. The sign language relates letters, words, and sentences of a spoken language to hand signs and human body gestures, facilitating hearing impaired people to communicate among themselves. It is the only means of communication for the hearing impaired. So, sign languages are used not only by the deaf people, but also by the hearing parents of the deaf people, hearing children of the deaf adult, hearing deaf educators. And these sign languages are well-structured languages with phonology, morphology, syntax, and grammar distinctly from spoken language. It uses several body movements simultaneously in spatial and in temporal space. It involves handshapes, hand tracking, hand orientation with respect to head and other body parts, like movements, facial expression, etc. It's not confined to a particular region or territory, but it is practiced all over the world. There are some examples of different sign languages are American Sign Languages, British Sign Language, Japanese Sign Language, French Sign Language, Australian Sign Language, Indo-Pakistani Sign Language, etc., etc. So coming to Indian Sign Language, India is diversified in culture, language, and region. And unlike America and Europe, sign language does not have a standard sign language earlier, but it was developed nowadays. The linguistic studies on ISL were started in 1970s, and most of the ISL alphabets are derived from British Sign Language and French Sign Language. And this ISL uses both hands to make gestures to represent most of the alphabet, and it uses static and dynamic hand gestures. Facial expressions are also used. That means if we are showing signs for happy, the face should be happy. If it's more happy, the face should be more bright. facial expressions are also included in the ISL. And one hands move faster than the other at times in dynamic hand gestures. Many of the gestures results in obstruction. Both hands are moved together and both results in obstruction. And there are some complicated handshakes also. And the locations of the hand with respect to the body contribute to this sign. There may be head and body postures also in some cases. And it involves both global and local hand. And the Indian Sign Language Research Training Center under the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities developed Indian Sign Language Dictionary. The first sign dictionary was developed and launched in 2018. Later in 2019, the second dictionary is launched, and in 2021, the third one is also launched. And this dictionary consists of 5 different words of categories, everyday terms that include the terms that in everyday communication like this, that, there, good morning, good afternoon, like this, and legal terms, the terms required for legal purposes like court, then it contains academic terms also. So it contains 229 videos for 212 terms to help the deaf children understand complex academic concepts. And it has words from various subjects like physics, geography, biology, math, etc. And the medical terms are also there. It includes 200 sign videos of 200 medical terms with the help deaf community to better understand medical terminologies used in hospitals and in medical situations. There are another one called the technical terms, which includes 206 videos of sign and explanations in ISL for the technical terms that are used in occasional training or in computer science courses. It's the logo of Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center, which is located in Bombay. And these are 2 different signs. One is for you, and this is for Friday, just in everyday terms. So let us move on to the hand gesture recognition system. Let us see what is a hand gesture and how it can be recognized. And so in order to create a useful hand gesture recognition system, we first know the difference between the hand postures and hand gestures. Hand posture is a static hand configuration, like thumbs up, which represents good. It is a hand posture. It is static. Where the hand gesture is defined as a dynamic movement, which consists of sequences of hand postures over a short span of time. When we wave like this, it is goodbye. So waving this, the moving the hand. So that is a hand gesture. So gestures are expressive, meaningful body motions involving physical movements of fingers, hands, arms, head, face, or body with the intent of conveying meaningful information or interacting with the environment. Typically, the meaning of a gesture can depending on the spatial information. That is the space where it occurs, the overall space where it occurs. The pathic movement. If we are moving a hand like this, this is good morning. That is moving the hand from here to here. It is in the closed position to the open position. So it is moving like this. So the path it takes, the symbolic information, the sign it makes. If you show like this, it is you. I am pointing to you. It is the sign of you. So that's the sign that it makes. And the affective information, that is the emotional quality, which is if I'm saying good morning, the face should be bright, so to show happiness. so that emotional quality is also be there. It can be static or dynamic. Static means just a pose, certain pose or configuration. Like this is a posture, or this is a static one. And good morning or good night. These are dynamic, moving in the space. So the gestures can be static or dynamic. Some gestures have both static and dynamic. The automatic recognition of the natural continuous gestures require their temporal segmentation. That is, one needs to specify the start and end points of a gesture in terms of frames of movement, both in time and space. In converting this, the first step is to take the picture of this sign. Here, if I am showing good morning, starting from here, the hand is moving and the fingers are becoming like this. So there's a start point and there's an end point. And the movement of hand is also there. So this has to be tracked. This has to be recognized first. It has to be imaged, or the video is to be taken, and that video is divided into different frames, and each frame is taken as a gesture. So this gestures can be broadly classified into three types: hand and arm gestures. That is recognition of the hand posture, sign language, and for entertainment applications in virtual environments, for computer games. Then head and face gestures. It is nodding. If I am saying no, then I nod the head like this. So nodding the head is also a gesture. Raising the eyebrows, making you feel surprise or happiness or disgust, fear, anger, etc. That also be a head and face gesture. Then the body gestures. If I am showing like this, moving like the hand and body like this, it also body movements. And it involves full body motion. That is tracking movements of two persons interacting outdoors, or analyzing the movement of a dancer for generating a matching music and graphics, and recognizing human gaits from medical rehabilitation and athletic training, etc. There the body gestures are also used. So these gestures here in sign language, usually a static and dynamic gestures are used. That is, the hand, arm, hand and head and face gestures are usually used. But for other applications like virtual environments, smart surveillance, robot control, graphic editor control, television control, 3D modeling, etc., using gesture recognition, the other methods are used. But in Indian Sign Language or any sign language, it involves hand and arm gestures and head and face gestures only. So for recognizing or taking the image, we requires the use of different imaging and tracking devices or gadgets. These include instrumented gloves, body suits, and marker-based optical tracking. Traditional 2D keyboard, pen, and mouse-oriented graphical user interfaces are not suitable for working in virtual environments. Rather, devices that sense the body position and orientation, speech and sound, facial expression, etc. Different aspects of human behavior or state can be used to model communication between human and environment. Each sensing technology varies along several dimensions, including accuracy, resolution, latency, range of motion, user comfort, and cost. And this technologies for capturing the hand gestures and can be glove-based method or vision-based method. In glove-based method, glove, various types of gloves are used. We'll see later. And in vision-based method, the camera and the computer vision techniques are used. And the camera can be a 2D camera, the normal camera, or a 3D hand model-based approaches. And after taking the image, that image is pre-processed and remove all the background details, noises, etc. And then it is segmented to take the hand gesture alone, the hand position alone, and some features from that is extracted and it is classified. We'll see one by one. So the hand gesture recognition has been used in commercial CAD system since 1970s, and that came to universal notice with Apple Newton in 1992. And the first reported attempts and machine sign language recognition originates in 1990 with the recognition of American Sign Language by Pat Starner. Glove-based method is signer needs to wear a glove with sensors. Sometimes this color gloves is enough. In some cases, the gloves with sensors are used. The sensors in the glove can detect the movement of the hands and pass this information to the computer. Usually, the glove-based gestural interfaces requires the user to wear a cumbersome device and carry a load of cables connecting the device to the computer. This hinders the ease and naturalness of user's interaction with the computer. But this approach has high accuracy in gesture recognition, but it is quite expensive and inconvenient for the user. Here, as you can see, this person is using some devices with some cables and all, and it is connected to this laptop. So he has to carry all these things. So it hinders his ease and naturalness. So in order to avoid that, vision based method, computer vision based method is used, and it uses camera for gesture recognition. Vision-based devices can handle the properties such as texture and color for analyzing a gesture. We can find the hand. We can segment the hand with respect to the skin color and the texture. So this vision-based technique can also vary among themselves in the number of cameras used, so that we can use 2D images and 3D images. The speed and vary the speed and latency. Then the structure of the environment, that means the environment with the restrictions such as lighting or speed of movement, etc. That any user requirements, whether the user must wear anything special, the special type of dresses or so. In low-level features like edges, regions, silhouettes, moments, histograms, etc., or whether 2D or 3D representation is used, and whether the time is represented. And there are some problems related to the occlusion of parts of the user body. There are two different approaches that is by using the 2D camera and the 3D camera. The main problem associated with this vision-based method is that the camera position, variation in illumination, background complexity, occlusions, etc., will affect this. As we all know, when we are taking a photo, if the camera position is not in the correct position, that is, the correct position is that the person should stand in front of the light. If otherwise, the photo will get darkened. So if the light falls on our face only, then the picture will be good. And if there is a variation in illumination, That is, during the night, the photo is more blurred or it is not good. And if the background is more complex, then that has to be removed. The background complexities are to be removed before going into the segmentation and all. So I'll tell you in detail about these problems caused in the coming slides. So appearance-based approach with 2D camera. Here there is a person standing and showing a sign. A photo of that person is taken, and it is a real-time video, and the video is divided into different frames. And then each frame is considered as a poster, and then it is processed. This type of appearance-based approach with 2D camera, it requires a low processing time, but the real-time performance is very poor due to all these problems. Next is with the 3D mode. For 3D model, depth cameras can be used for data acquisition. It makes use of 3D information of the body parts. Several key parameters like palm position, joint angles, etc. can be obtained from this information. This method requires huge storage space to deal with a large number of features. It will give better accuracy at higher computation rate. And the introduction of the third dimension actually solves many challenges in 2D SLR problems by providing extra information on the depth. But this is a setup for using this 3D cameras. This is in a controlled setup. So different cameras are placed at different positions, and the depth information is stored. So it can be done inside a room or so. So that is the one great disadvantage of this method. The block diagram of this gesture recognition system. It consists of two parts, one the training part and the testing part. As you all know, the training means training the system to know about the various signs. We have to train the sign, each sign for the system. So we have to first acquire the image, then it is segmented, then some features are extracted from this, and these features are stored as a feature matrix in a database. So if for the symbol for letter A, the symbol is like this. So the picture of this symbol is taken, then pre-processed, then some processing are done, and then it is stored in the database with some specifications or some features. So by using the system, we are using this data which is stored in the database to convert this sign back to text or speech. So image acquisition can be done by using a digital camera, mobile camera, webcam, or Kinect. It can be either a video or image capturing device. The scanning of the image is done at a rate of 30 frames per second. And the video is taken and it is divided into frames, and each frame has to be processed alone. So there will be various moving entities besides the hand and head of the sign. So we have to remove all these. So the signer's head and the hand are the foreground image, and the rest of objects in the background are taken as the background image. And the required image is taken, and then processed. So first, after acquiring the image, to improve the quality of the image, the pre-processing techniques are done. Usually filtering is done to remove the noise and smoothen, to improve the brightness. Histogram equalization is done to normalize the brightness and contrast of the processing field. Scaling is done to reduce the computational effort needed for processing the image. And the image is converted to grayscale or to black and white to reduce the pixel and interrelated operations. And the background subtraction is used for removing the unwanted background details for capturing the images. So background details, what are the background details to be removed? First one is the background details which resembles the hand, whose essential details has to be isolated. So when I showed like this, my face is in the back along with my hand. The hand is with the skin color. The face is also with skin color. So the color in the background has to be removed. Then clothes having the same color of the hand. If I am wearing a dress like this, by having the same color of the hand or skin color, that is also got to be removed. Then inanimate objects of the same color of the hand, or any other person standing behind the signer and whose face or head is most probable to be captured by the camera. That is called occlusion. Occlusion of another person behind or anything behind along with the signer. Part of the body, including face or any other part, if included, the hand should be separated. So these all background details are to be removed before going into the process. So the hand tracking, it is used to locate the objects and boundaries, that is lines, curves, etc. in images. The hand should be located firstly, depending on the skin color, and then it has to be tracked. If it is good morning, if I am moving the hand like this, so it is moving. So my hand is to be tracked, and the position is also to be found. The video is divided into frames, and each frame is processed alone, and the hand frame is treated as a poster and is separate. Sign videos are composed of many moving objects along with the hands. If you are outside and is in near a roadside or so there will be a lot of people moving over there. There will be animals there. There will be different vehicles there. So there will be many moving objects in the video. So along with that moving object, the hand which is shown, the sign has to be tracked. So next, segmentation is to be done. Segmentation is segmenting the entire frame. So last we have seen this is a picture in outside. So there are many things in the background, and he is showing his hand. So the skin color, this hand alone is to be segmented. All the other has to be removed. So that is called a segmentation. And the output of the segmentation will be like this: the hand alone, the skin color, and then this can be converted to grayscale image or black and white image. So segmentation is the process of partitioning a digital image into multiple segments, and it is used to locate objects and boundaries. It is done to segment the hands and head of the subject. The frame with hand is treated as a poster to be set. Usually, skin segmentation is used to segment the hand and head of the sign, but it also has some complexities, which we'll discuss in the next slide. So next process is feature extraction. So from this sign or sign language, or from this poster, this represents this is good. This represents the gesture good. So this is to be this here we can see in both all the three. The posters are different. The position of fingers and position of the palm, all these are different. So we have to differentiate between them. So all these are different. So the feature extraction will contain different. The matrices are for each sign are different. The matrix for this sign is different from that of this one and that of this. So we can clearly identify each sign from the matrix stored in the database. So shape features extracted from segmentation and location information from tracking are fused into a feature matrix for each sign. It is stored in a database at the training stage as templates and can be used as input to the pattern classifier. And this feature matrix is derived from the video sequence, and it is a fusion of hand and head segments representing the shape in each frame along with their location and scale. Each of these features is invariant to any scaling, rotation, or translation of the image. Here I am showing straightly upwards, but if I am showing like this with a small slanting or with a small slanting this way, so there will be a change in the position in the frame, as you can see now. So that is also we have to consider, and we have to consider for this feature matrix, which is invariant to any scaling, rotation, or translation. After modeling and analysis of the input hand gesture, just a classification method is used to recognize the sign. Usually, the machine learning techniques are used to classify it. And after classification, the voice messages are generated to correctly classify sign. The feature vector is used for the recognition of this sign. For operating this automatic sign language system, a video is taken. From that video, after segmentation, tracking, and all features are extracted, and it is compared with that stored in the database to give the correct sign. And for classification, the different tools are used. The statistical tools and soft computing tools can be used for classification. There is usually the machine language algorithms are used. The earlier used hidden Markov model, and then the PCA, principal component analysis methods are used. Nowadays, CNN, RNN, etc. are used, and artificial neural networks are also used earlier to classify the signs. So, the challenges faced by any sign language recognition system. These are the space where different research can be done over this. So the main challenge is the ability to track the signer in the video with a variety of background cluster and different lighting conditions. As we are using a 2D camera, the lighting condition affects the camera and affects the camera pictures in brightness, contrast, etc. So it is difficult to track the signer. Also, as I mentioned earlier, there are many moving objects in the video. So we have to correctly track the signer and his hand. ability to track the signer in the video. That is, identify the signer, his facial expression, the posture of the person, and not only his hand movements, but also his head movements also have to be tracked. And the signer position may vary in front of the camera while performing the sign. If we are talking, if some friends are together and they are talking, they can be moved. Usually we are not sitting in a specific place and talking each other, but we are standing and moving like this and all. So there will be the signer position can vary in front of the camera also. So these all make difficulties in tracking the signer. Another problem is occlusion. Occlusion, here you can see the face and the hand are occluded. The face will remove the hand. Sorry, the hand position will affect the face position. We cannot identify correctly the face position. So that is called the occlusion. Then co-articulation problem. Co-articulation problem means while I am showing one sign and then moving back the hand, if we are, or as in the first video I have shown, the Sunny is showing his name, and along with the showing the name Aditya and Sunny, the hands are moving from one gesture to another or one sign to another. So that movement of the hand, which does not represent the sign, but it is, the hand has to be moved from one position to another. So we have to find out which movement is a sign and which movement is not sign. That is called the co-articulation problem. And that is removing the link between the preceding and the subsequent sign. And this occlusion, due to the two-dimensional projection, the face and the hand, everything is shown as a single image. So we have to separate the hand from the face. Then in American Sign Language and many of the sign language, one hand is used for making hands. In Indian Sign Language, two hands are to be used for showing the signs. Sometimes one hand is moved faster than the other, or sometimes both the hands move together. So sometimes both the hands are idle. In all these conditions, we have to track the hands. The system was therefore not only able to handle two moving objects, but also to detect whether the non-dominant hand is idle or move together with the dominant hand. Another one is similar set of signs. Here two signs are there. The signs are similar. One is like this only without showing the thumb, and another is showing the thumb. So this sign, similar or even identical, the manual features as differ in non-manual features. So in this type, we have to make use of the manual features or for manually identical signs or even unfeasible. In these figures, here the same person. Here the background is symbol background in a dark color. The dress is also symbol of dark color. And here it is easily to identify the skin color from this poster. But see, in this one, here there are many background things. Here also it is many things in the background. Here the dress is proper with full sleeve dark shirts. So the it is better to see the skin color or segment the skin color. And here see the lighting conditions. Here it is very bright, and here it is inside the room. So that also the contrast contrast background and the light will be a challenge. So we have to remove this one. So here in this, these positions are dark. Here also some positions are dark. So we can't identify correctly. So this light will also, the position of the light will also affect the sign language recognition. Here is another one that I already explained. Here see the windows and doors. These are the color almost same as that of the skin color. So in addition to the hand, this hand and the face, the skin colors, this background window and door is also detected. So it gives you numerous false alarms. So we have to remove this window and door also. So while using motion or color to detect the user's hand and face, uncontrolled background may give rise to numerous false alarms that requires high-level reasoning to tell targets from distractors. Another important challenge regarding our India or Kerala, the skin color of the people is very, very drastic. So it is very difficult to fix the pixel of the skin color. The skin color, as we take, if it is 0, black as 0 and 255 as white, then the skin color be 170 or so. But here this color will be less than nearly 100. And here it is more white, so it can be near to 200. So we have to vary drastically between 100 to 200. So that will affect the problem like this also. So that is also a very challenge in recognizing the Indian Sign Language recognition. Then working on 2D camera gives lots of depth information. As here, like this, the fingers are folded. So this depth information is lost in case of 2D camera. If I'm showing like this or this, sometimes we can identify, but sometimes if I am showing like this, we cannot identify the underneath part. So that will give a loss of depth information. And as each sign varies in time and space, so there will may be a change in position and speed with same person or person to person. If some person is showing the hands very fastly, someone showing very smoothly, so the speed between these two will also affect the system. And another thing, the spoken language. Spoken language usually consists of a structure in sentence. There will be some grammar and all. The spoken language, we are starting from the noun and moving to like that. So here, this is the spoken language and sign language are totally different in their linguistic structure. So design of the rule-based system is also a challenging task. How are you? How are you? So first it is shown you, then it is shown how. So you, how. But in sentence, it is how are you. So the word are is not there in this sign. So we have to include all these while recognizing a sentence. So in ISL, the proper noun is not pronounced as in spoken, but it has to be used like pointing to the identity of a particular person with their gender. So see the complications. See the various face emotions in this picture, showing the various signs. So So in order to convert a sign into, or we have to develop an automatic sign language recognition system. We cannot do as a normal person or a translator who translates it. We have to consider all these facts. So it is a bit difficult to consider all these for converting this. The research is going on in various places on converting this to the sign language, the full sign language to sign language recognition system. So the status of researchers in national level, this linguistic work began in 1970s, and the problem is limited to our domain of our country, and the work is already done is limited to national level only. And the researches are taking place in various universities and institutions in our country. Many journal papers and conference papers are reported in the literature. The Robotics and AI Lab of Indian Institute of Information Technology, KL University, CMERI, CSIR, Durgapur, Institute of Guwahati, etc. are the major institutions where this research is going on. And many people who are doing their PhD are also working on this. So it is not only a part of research, but we are doing, if we are developing a system, we are doing a good to the deaf and dumb people of our society.
Okay, ma'am. So let's move on to the Q&A session. We have a few questions in the YouTube chat. I'll read it out for you. Will this require highly skilled individuals to use the system?
The basic thing is that we have the signer, the deaf and dumb people is doing the sign, and the system is taking the photo or video of that signer, and it is converting to the text. So the signer is there and he knows how to do the sign. Okay. While we are talking, the normal paper is talking with a deaf and mute people. He is doing the sign, and we are capturing, or the system is capturing the video and converting and pronouncing it. Hope you understood that.
Okay, ma'am. So the next question is... No, ma'am, carry on.
ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഡെഫ് ആൻഡ് മ്യൂട്ട് പീപ്പിൾ ആണ് സൈൻ കാണിക്കുന്നത്, അവർക്ക് അത് സൈൻ കാണിക്കാൻ അറിയാം. ഈ സിസ്റ്റം അവരുടെ പിക്ചർ എടുത്തിട്ട്, അവർ കാണിക്കുന്ന സൈനിന്റെ പിക്ചർ എടുത്തിട്ട് അത് എന്താണെന്ന് പ്രൊനൗൺസ് ചെയ്യാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇപ്പൊ അവർ കാണിക്കുന്ന യു എന്നാണ് കാണിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ സിസ്റ്റം വിൽ പ്രൊനൗൺസ് ആസ് യു. അപ്പൊ അവര് കാണിക്കുന്ന എന്താണോ അത് നമ്മുടെ സിസ്റ്റം നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തരും. അതാണ് ഈ സിസ്റ്റം കൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Is this system reliable? Will there be a chance of corruption?
Yeah, that is the challenges that I have told. We have to, it is very difficult to consider all these facts and convert it to this. It will take a lot more time to do all these things. I have told many challenges. These are all very challenging. Here, if there are some the skin color in the background also, that will also be detected. So there will be a chance, but the researcher has to do it's better to know all these things first and then do the necessary work, proper work to cover all this.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is, what is the future and scope of this system?
It is, if it is developed, will be very useful for the mute and deaf people to communicate with the normal people. Then we can bring them to the society along with us.
Okay, ma'am. So our last question is this technology going to be affordable for all sections of society?
Yeah, I think we can develop it as a system or a application which can be used in our mobile phones, or we can develop it as a small system like our mobile phone with a lesser number of things. It needs a camera and then memory for storing all this, and then a loudspeaker memory and a processor to process the things, and a loudspeaker to give away the words. And it will be good to have a screen also to write it there or display it there. So it can be a small thing which will be a small the size of our mobile phone.
Thank you for the detailed explanation, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you
Gaining,
for your patient learning towards this topic. Hope you can do more in this field. If you are interested, you can contact me also.
gaining knowledge is the first step to wisdom. Sharing it is the first step towards humanity. With this, we conclude today's session of Color Your Space. Thank you, ma'am, for your delightful talk. Hope the session was enlightening. I would also like to extend my gratitude towards the organizers as well as audience for being a part of this session. Until next time, good night.
Thank you.